take care of me. You provide for me. Lead and guide me all the way. All the way. Hallelujah. Yes. Hallelujah. Yes. Now that is the way we used to have church. Yes. I was born in 89, and I have to tell you that the 90s was the best time to be in church. The 2000s, they started preaching on the prosperity, and that's all fine and dandy, but it got more commercialized. And let me tell you something. I remember being a little girl. All of us, we would mimic the grown people, and we never understood the shouting and the tears. But it's not until you get into your, I would say, when you really start to know God and you understand, like, this morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubt. I know the Lord will, when you've been through something, you know, when you've been through unemployment, when you live in your mama house, when you know, come on somebody, anybody who ever been through anything, you know the Lord will provide. So that's just always been an encouraging song to me. And when I was little, it was just a song to make fun of. But when you grown, you can really identify. So they don't write them like that no more. And it's like, gospel, they still have their awards and stuff. And I think the BET, they still give them their accolades. But it's not that many gospel artists. It's really not. You have Tamala Mann, and who else, right? And then you got Vincent Bohannon, but he's not really that known yet. He's coming along. He's from Brooklyn. And then you have Hezekiah Walker, but you know, Hezekiah Walker, I mean, he's from like 30 years ago. But yeah, I remember being a young girl and singing Shake the Devil Off. I'll never forget it. And that was like my first time singing in front of people, and it gave me a confidence. It just gave me a and I wanted to briefly talk about that. You know, church is more than just religion. It gave you a sense of self-worth. It gave you confidence. It gave you self-esteem. That's why I don't understand young women of God, even if you don't go to church every Sunday, just growing up in church, that's what helps me get through life, because I know that I'm the King's daughter. Amen. And I know who I am, and I know whose I am. So it's but so much I'm going to tolerate from a dude or from anyone, because I know whose I am, not just who I am. And that's important. And that's why religion is so important, because it holds you to a certain standard. It gives you self-worth. It really does. And my coworker on Friday, this is Sunday, she had said something about society is going downhill, and she blames it on hip-hop. And I'm like, hip-hop is only an example of what's going on. And I wanted to break it down to y'all. Y'all probably already know this, but gospel came from slavery, right? The struggle that we were going through. So at that time, of course, you know, the sounds of hip-hop wouldn't have fit, right? So what happened after gospel? You got jazz. And that was, some of it was kind of sad, because they were going through segregation, right? We were free, but free to do what? You know, the only way you could make money back then, you had to have your own business. And I didn't really think about it. But Erica Alexander on the Breakfast Club, she was saying how her grandmother, along with everybody's grandma, they had their hustles. Nobody was hiring you. You had to make your own money your own way. And that's how in the 1920s, 30s, you just had to make your own money your own way. Nobody was going to hire you. So the jazz came out during that time. Harlem Renaissance of the struggle. What else? After jazz, you get R&B. That's blues. You know. What's after blues? After R&B, you know, you get rock and roll, Tina Turner. You know, after the rock and roll, you get pop. And all those popular songs that you hear, I love to love you, baby. All black women. I didn't know either. Donna Summer, loving you is reason to be beautiful. Black woman. Who knew that? You know. I don't know, I could get up there. I used to get up there. But that was the original Mariah Carey as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Black woman. Okay. You know, just any popular pop song from the 80s, it sounds white, but it's all black women. You could look this up. All of it. All of the songs. I did not know that we created pop music. I did not know this. They don't tell us. You know. Yeah, rock and roll, pop. And then what happened is the white people took over. And they had their little cute spin, you know, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake with the NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls. But we made up pop music, y'all. We made up pop. Soul music, of course, obviously, that's us. And then it went into, R&B and then hip-hop, right? Hip-hop was an explanation as to what was going on. NWA, they talked about, you know, F the police. Well, if the police was doing what they were supposed to do, then nobody would write a song about it. So I think, and it wasn't until Friday, I didn't know people still had negative feelings towards hip-hop and blaming hip-hop for society. Like, look at society before hip-hop came along, and you're gonna blame hip-hop? No. Society was upside down in a hot mess before hip-hop was even thought of. And when hip-hop first came out, it was positive. It was a joke. You know, it wasn't meant to be negative. You don't start getting negative hip-hop if you want to call it negative. But it's music in a sense, and I wanted to talk about that briefly. Music is music, movies, and any type of art is a reflection of what's going on. I'm an author, right? I cannot write something that doesn't exist, right? It's impossible. I could use my imagination and talk about characters that I've never met, but there's nothing new under the sun. And it's not just a cliche, it's the truth. I could sit down and write a thriller, but it's things that really happen in the world. So you can't say, oh, well, this writer is negative and da-da-da-da. It's a reflection on what's going on. So don't get mad at the messenger. Don't get mad at society. Get mad at the world. I had a cousin of mine. He was like, he don't like Color Purple or Tyler Perry because it's negative against black men. I said, but Tyler Perry at least is always a it's like, I feel like with Tyler Perry is slightly not realistic because a lot of his stuff is always a happy ending. Like Mia Culpa, a lot of people don't like it, but it's realistic. Like in the end, she ended up with nobody. The guy that she messed with that was innocent, she realized he was no good, tossed his, you know, when he texted her, she tossed the phone in the garbage, and she left her husband. He wasn't no good either. So in the end, she wound up alone, and that's my topic for today. So I wanted to talk about God's answer to a husband. So I was watching YouTube last night, as always, and one of the ladies that I've seen over and over, she said how sometimes when you pray for things, God says no. And I never really thought about that. But some of us have been praying for. I know me, I always wanted a husband from the time I was a little girl. Even though my parents didn't have the best marriage, or I've heard nothing but negative things, I felt like that's not going to be my marriage. At the end of the day, people have bad marriages. That's their choice. That's a lot of the times people get with people for the wrong reasons. People marry people and they don't even love the person. They don't even like the person. They get with them for the wrong reasons. They married them because they was pregnant, or they married them because, oh, he's good looking and he has a job, so I'm gonna marry him. Where's the romance? That's important. Where's the love? Love should be your foundation. Friendship should be your foundation. Why do you see old couples holding hands? They not necessarily getting it in like they did when they was 20, but there's a friendship there. And that's important. What makes friendships last longer than relationships is you like the person, you get along with that person. So I think a lot of people are miserable in marriage because check the foundation. Do you guys have an honest friendship, or did it start out with lust? That's important. That's very important, because guess what? You may be blessed to have a partner that still looks good after 20, 30 years. Some people don't age. Like me, I'm 34, I'm gonna be 35. Most people think I'm much younger. But even if the person's looks stay the same, people attitude changes. Sometimes people personality change. And even if all of that stays the same, naturally you may change. You may want something different. And what's going to keep that foundation? The friendship. That's why people say it, and it's true. It's important to have a friendship. Because what happens when you don't want to have sex with that person? They could still look good, but it happens. Your libido goes down. I'm going through that now. I'm single anyway, but my libido is down. I'm not, I got a, what they call a man crush Monday. I got an old coworker, whatever, very handsome, and it's not. I don't always. I want to. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious anymore. It never was. I was never really a overly sexual anyway, but my libido is down, and I know if I was with somebody, it would be the same way. My libido is down. It's not always, I want to get physical, whatever. What my main thing is spending time together. I love going out. And my father spoiled me with that since I was a little girl. Going out. That's important to me. Going out. I love going out. You ain't got to spend no money, but just spending time together. Some people was raised to stay in the house. They never went nowhere as a child. Me and my father was never in the house. If we was in the house, it was at night. And even at night, we go to the movies, we doing something, we going somewhere. Then with my son, same way. We was always out the house, Disney on Ice, whatever. We don't go out as much now because he's a teenager. So it's I gotta find things to do. Because the Children's Museum, and he was he wanted to go there. I'm that's for kids. So I took him to the Brooklyn Museum, and we had they had a Spike Lee exhibition. So that was cool, or whatever. And I try to look for different things to do with him now that he's older. Yeah, as much as I can, because the Disney on Ice, and they just had the circus, at Barclays. I did that when he was little. But yeah, that's all important. That's all important. But for the most part, God does answer prayers, but sometimes God says no, and you have to know when God says. I feel like I've never had God tell me no, but I've had a no answer. So I guess the no answer is a no. And that's my question to my YouTube subscribers. What do you could comment, like, and subscribe. Do you think God says no? Me personally, I think when it comes to certain things, like you have women that are weird and they'll pray for somebody else's husband. God is not going to give you somebody else's husband. Like Tyler Perry had did a play like that. I forget the name of it. But the lady, I think it's Medea Gets a Job or something like that. And the lady manager, she, or was it a nursing home? Yeah, it was a nursing home. So somehow or another, the whole staff knew her business. And she was dating a married man. And he went and married somebody else and not her. And Medea was like, God is not going to give you somebody else's husband. Like, in cases like that, that's a no. And you should already know that's a no. Because whatever he did to her, he going to do it right to you. So I don't understand that, you know. But, yeah, that's a little strange. And then you got kids involved and stuff. I never understood why some women, I think some women, they don't care about breaking up a family because they never had a family. It's that simple. Like, if you never had married parents, or you never really had structure in your life, or, you know, your mom was just by herself, you never really seen a family. Like, for me personally, I could never have a full-blown affair with a man who has young children living with a woman. Even if he's not married to her. If they're living together with children and I find out it's children involved, I'm not going to be messing with him because that messes up a whole family. How do I know? Because I've seen it growing up. Like, infidelity is worse than just cheating. You cheat the children, that woman ends up having self-esteem, and then it affects the children right on up until they become adults, and you become the reason why that family can't function. So they might stay together, but it'll never be the same because of you, because you couldn't keep your vagina together. And that to me is selfishness. You know, I could never be responsible for that. Like, I know a girl right now, she was like, oh, like, mind you, he got 7 kids. He don't take care of 5 of them. I can't make this up. This is a real story. I had to block her because, no, I don't want to be associated with that. But basically, he lied to her about being married. And she knows that he has 7 kids. He only takes care of 2 of them. He don't take care of her kids either. And all she care about is, oh, if he brought divorce papers to me, then I'll take him back. What? Like, he has small children. Why would you want to be responsible for breaking up a family? But the reason why she's like that is her mother had 4 husbands. Her mother kept getting remarried. And then, you know, I think that plays a big role. She never grew up with a functional family. So it's like, she don't care. And even though her mom made poor decisions, she's not learning from that. Like, you know, family is important and they need stability. They don't need to be, you know, if they, like I told y'all before, if children are 3-4 years old and they're used to mommy, daddy, that's when y'all need to work it out, because that's all they know is mommy, daddy. It's different if y'all broken up before they're born. But if y'all together and that's what they know, it's best to try and work it out, because then it's like, it becomes difficult, you know. But I just wanted to say that. I wanted to say those 2 things, that music is an example of what's going on currently. Opera is very negative and nobody talks about that. A lot of that stuff is not in English, and they talk about murder and mayhem and having affairs and all type of sex and fornication and adultery, but nobody talks about that because it's, you know. But yeah, so there's plenty of negative music other than hip-hop, And please educate yourself about hip hop. For me, I sat down and I listened to Jay-Z's albums. He's Hurting. His in the 444 album, y'all should listen to that. If y'all never heard it, y'all should hear it. His sister was molested by an uncle. And so that probably plays a part as to why he's atheist. But it's sad for him to be that old and he never got help for that. Because that's like secondhand PTSD what his sister went through. So yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. I'm kind of rambling on. But yes, sometimes no answer means a no from God. But it's important to just be happy with what you have. It's important. Sometimes one thing about human beings that I realize, no matter what we have, we always want more. Don't we? And I was thinking last night, nobody has it all. You got some women that may be married with children, but they don't have a social life. Well, you have people like me. I have somewhat of a social life and I have my village, but I'm not married. So nobody has it all. Everybody is lacking in something, right? Be grateful for what you have. And remember, God gives you what you can handle. Some of us can't handle a husband. Some of us can't handle living with somebody and dealing with their mess and dealing with like me. Just for me to date you, you better cook and clean. Most men, they do cook and clean. But even if they do all of that, it's the living with someone and no breaks, you just seeing their face every day. That's a lot of discipline. That's what they don't talk about. They don't prepare you for that. There's no book of instructions on raising kids or marriage. It's just boom, go into it. But yeah, you're living with another person, a different person. So it's two people coming together trying to make it work some way, somehow. And I'm in my comfort zone. I've been living on my own with my son 12 years. I can't imagine somebody coming into my life and just changing everything or trying to, I think singleness is for me. Now, if God send me somebody, cool. If he don't, anyway he bless me, I'm satisfied. And those are my thoughts.